What's up, everybody? Passion here again with another video. So I apologize first off if it's a little bit noisy. If you hear my fan going, or you hear the TV going, or you hear the music going outside, there's not a single place in this house that's quiet right now for me to record. So that's just how that rolls. But I just got through watching the EA Play 2020 live show, um, which, to be honest, it did feel a little bit more like a normal E3 than the PlayStation 5 event did. I think purely because EA's been kind of doing this live stream thing for a couple of years now anyway. So it wasn't really that different to what they normally do. It was still cringy, unfortunately. They really need to, like, oust Greg Miller and get somebody else to do it because, God, that guy cannot be not cringy to save his life. But I just want to, just like the PS5 digital event reveal thing that I made a little quick initial impressions on. I'm not doing a full recap of the entire EA Play show, but I did want to talk a little bit about a few things that were talked about. This was actually a much shorter show than the PS5 event. It might have been actually, well, it might have been about the same amount of time, but it felt shorter. It felt shorter to me. I don't know why. But one of the things that was really, like, even GameSpot said after the show was over, the big keyword was crossplay. A big keyword was crossplay in this presentation, and a bunch of games, including a lot of the new games that were announced, are all coming to crossplay. And not just crossplay, but also Steam. Steam was a big key buzzword too. It seems like EA is kind of kicking themselves for making all their games proprietary on Origin for PC. And they realized, well, we could have actually had all those Steam customers if we actually put our games on Steam. So a lot of games are coming to Steam, including The Sims, Apex Legends, all coming to Steam. Matter of fact, Apex Legends is even coming to a Nintendo Switch, which was kind of inevitable. I kind of expected that was going to happen eventually, considering Overwatch is on Switch and Paladins is on Switch and a lot of the other, and Fortnite's on Switch and all these other big, esporty games are on Switch now anyway. So Apex was kind of the last one holding out, and now that one's coming, so that's good. But I guess the big there's a couple. There's like three things I wanted to really talk about in terms of the games. The first being Rocket Arena. Wow, that looks like the coolest EA game I have seen in a long, 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 long time. Okay, I am super, super, super stoked for that one. That one, uh, I don't know if it's gonna be. They didn't mention if it's gonna be free to play or not. Even if it isn't, I can't see it being full price, considering it's a 3v3 multiplayer only PvP game. So I don't know how expensive they're going to try to make that. I mean, yes, it does have 10 heroes, and yes, they're all fully customizable with lots of progression in them. But I don't see them charging full price for that, even if they do charge something for it. But regardless, I probably will be picking that one up. That one looks really cool, and the cool thing is it's only coming out next month. Don't only have to wait like a few more weeks for that to come out, which is really cool. And I'll be definitely hopping on that and playing it. It looks really cool. I've said it before. I'll say it, keep saying it until people get it into their heads. But a hero shooter, which this is, I guess it's kind of a hero shooter. It's entirely themed around rockets, as you can tell by the name. A hero shooter lives and dies by its cast of characters. Luckily, Apex Legends is kind of turning around to having interesting characters now, which is something that has been welcome. Season 4 and Season 5 of Apex Legends have brought some really interesting characters, in my opinion. But I'm happy to say that the heroes in Rocket Arena look really visually interesting, and this is also something that was going through my mind as I was watching the Rocket Arena reveal. I harkened back to the video I recently made about eSports ruining gaming, right? And how every game is being made to make into an esport. I don't get the vibe from Rocket Arena that they're trying to do that. I can see it probably happening. I can see some kind of esports, coming up on on Rocket Arena, even if it's a grassroots kind of a thing. But I'm glad that, unlike with Valorant, this is the big mistake Valorant made, is that they're launching the game on the merits of the game being a fun game. They're not launching the game like Valorant did on the merits of it having an eSports league. And that's something I was really happy to see. It reminded me a lot of Fortnite with how cartoony it was and how it looked. They emphasized how fun it was, and that's what I like to see. That's what exactly I was talking about. And we'll see if they try to make an official esports league. God, I hope not with this game, because if they choose to not make an esports league, this will be the game that I prophesized about in my last big produced video there. So we'll see what comes of that. But I'm excited to play Rocket Arena when that comes out next month. Next thing was Star Wars Squadrons. I wasn't really super stoked on Star Wars Squadrons when it was announced, but seeing more of the gameplay, it has raised its interest a little bit with me. I won't say it's made it a game I have to run out and pre-order or get on launch day, or that I'm anxious to play it in any way, but it looks like a much better game than I was giving it credit for. And another cool thing is that not only will it have crossplay, not only will it have VR support, which for the whole game is supported in VR, which is crazy. But one of the things that really also is going to have a single player mode. I thought it was just going to be an online only multiplayer game, but no, it will have a single player story, which is, in matter of fact, they make you play the single player story. You don't even get access to multiplayer until you've played enough of the single player story. So I didn't expect that to happen, but that's how that game's going. But I guess the biggest thing for me is that they are not having microtransactions whatsoever in the game. And all of the cosmetics, all of the unlockables are unlocked through gameplay. All of them. And there is not a way to unlock them outside of gameplay. So it's a very un-EA thing to do. I know that there was the whole controversy with Battlefront 2 and everything. I've talked about it before in multiple videos on this channel. But they eventually did roll back some of those microtransactions on Battlefront 2. But this one really does feel like it was specifically designed to be consumer friendly. And it looks like they really, from the start, didn't want to have microtransactions in the game. So that's really good that they're doing that. Like I said, I'm not rushing out to buy Star Wars Squadrons at all, but I am happy that it is a much better game than I was going to give it credit for. And it also looks like it's going to be a lot more complex of a game than I was going to give it credit for, too, because every Star Wars game we've had pilot battles and everything, it's been kind of like generic spaceship controls. But this game, they've pegged it as the definitive Star Wars pilot experience, and it looks like it plays the part. You don't just move a stick and your spaceship does what you tell it to do. You can do all kinds of complex, dodging maneuvers, and you have all this instrumentation inside your cockpit and everything you have to learn. It is like a Star Wars fan's, it's so meticulous in the detail of Star Wars that I think that claim of it being the definitive Star Wars pilot experience is not bullshit, and that they're actually telling the truth with that, and that it's gonna be the way. If you ever wanted to fly an X-wing or fly a TIE fighter, this is how you do it, and it's gonna live up to that fantasy, especially in VR, which is really awesome for all the Star Wars fans out there. So I'm happy that game is turning out to be better than I initially thought it was going to be. And finally, of course, we ended on the giant, massive, super uber mega reveal of Skate 4 coming. They didn't especially call it Skate 4. It might be a reboot of Skate, because they just said Skate on the title, so I'm assuming it's just a reboot of Skate, but everybody's saying it's Skate 4. And they say that the fans made it happen. The fans commented and made their voices heard loud enough to where EA had to listen and EA is giving us a new Skate. They didn't have any major details on it. They just said, "Hey guys, we heard you. Skate is coming." And it's super funny because when I was watching the EA conference, the entire time I was on Twitter and looking at all the memes of people saying, "Oh, these people saying Skate 4 is gonna come. That these idiots, look at them, they're all clowns." And I was one of them. I was thinking, yeah, look at these idiots. They're not gonna get a Skate 4. EA said multiple times we're not gonna Skate 4. Forget it. It's a pipe dream. It's never gonna happen. And then literally like not even 5 minutes after I saw all those memes, boom, here's your Skate 4 announcement. And I'm like, well, now I'm the idiot. But so I'm really happy for all the Skate fans. I was never a big Skate fan. I never got into the series. But I am happy that the fans willed this into existence. The producers, the developers of the game said that the fans have willed this into existence. So whenever people complain that companies don't listen to gamers, here you go. Skate is literally happening because we demanded it. EA was not going to do it, but we kept hounding them until they did it, and now they are doing it. So, keep that in the back of your mind whenever you think about thinking that game companies never listen, because even the evil bastards over at EA will listen if we're loud enough. But overall, of course, I got to give this conference a letter grade, most anticipated game, everything. I was prepared to rate this conference a lot lower when I first started watching it, because it wasn't really striking me as that good, and stuff. But then the whole thing with Rocket Arena came on, and I think it kind of got better from there. So I'm gonna give this a letter grade of a C. It was about average. And that Skate 4 announcement really did prop it up quite a bit. But obviously my most anticipated game of the show, you probably already know, is Rocket Arena. Super stoked for that to come out next month. And we'll see about the future of these EA games coming out. Next gen looks really promising on EA. Some of their original titles are somewhat at least mildly interesting. And I'm excited to see what comes from the future from EA. So, as always, guys, I'm Passion. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.